Hey everyone, since my movie maker decided not to work with video, we're gonna do this with art, yay! Okay, let's get started. Today we're gonna give an overview of Kevin Kumashiro, a professor at the University of San Francisco who teaches and writes about the new methods and ideas for aspiring teachers. We're gonna cover 3 of his works, 2 articles, and 1 of his many books. Let's start with the shortest one. Uncertain Beginnings, Learning to Teach Paradoxically. The main idea is telling you, new teachers, to go against your instincts of control over preparation. There's a lot of things to be uncertain about with teaching. Even simple things such as daily discussions can seem frightening. Kumashiro believes we should embrace that. Not only is it okay to be uncertain, it's actually good. He believes we should go against our desire to be completely prepared for anything. Because, as we've seen in class, you can't just expect everything. What just happened? Anyway, at the same time, he's telling us ways we could prepare ourselves before we get into a discussion, and about the various directions a discussion could go or not go. Paradoxically, he's saying you should also be prepared. Point! We shouldn't expect our students to take our side on an idea or a discussion, or even on things we see it's obvious. His example is LGBTQ rights and beliefs and situations, because there's always going to be that one person who was raised differently and, oh my god, they didn't agree with you and you're the teacher. No, you shouldn't try to prevent them from doing so. Let them have their say. One other thing, when discussing a sensitive subject, students might share, but not really. Some students might feel they should say what they're expected to say in order to agree with the class or have the correct answer, and this isn't really sharing their perspective. Others might proudly share their perspective that, in a sensitive case, might make others feel quite uncomfortable or threatened. This is just another one of those cases of uncertainty that he thinks we should just learn to deal with. Okay, enough drawing for a bit. Woo. The next one is much of the same stuff. However, this is focused on a theory of anti-oppressive education. Now this thing reads like a paper, yes. It doesn't start off with a definition of oppression. It more gives a different examples of what this word might mean concerning each separate section of the text. We start by defining the other, or who it is that might be oppressed, but in this case it's really that it can be anyone. Median stereotypes have led us to be able to oppress everything. But to show where this oppression comes from, it really goes deep into our society and its history, and it does seem we got stuck somewhere. The point he argues is, even though it's messy and technical to add in discussion on oppression in schools, not talking about it is what's hardening the system. In other words, if we don't talk about it and get people thinking, then we will remain essentially stuck. So, there are 4 sections, but essentially there are 3 different approaches to addressing oppression. First, improve experiences of those who are oppressed. This suggests that harm results from inaction. Second, include specific units in your teaching about the oppressed or integrate the otherness throughout your curriculum. Third, critique and transform our cultural ideologies. This is also a kind of self-evaluation. Anyway, that's a lot. Okay, last one. This is a summary of the book Bad Teacher. This is a good read for anyone who needs a paradigm shift in this topic of education. It focuses on the world outside of the classroom that's influencing education in order to try to change things. He shows 2 sides to each story and he gets into it a lot. Summarized, there's a lot more to teaching than being good or bad. There are things going wrong and things going right, and even though it's out of our hands as teachers, for the most part, because we're the most visible in the industry, we get blamed for even fired because of governmental and societal circumstances. Change isn't going to come unless the foundations of where the industry structure was decided makes that change, or it's initiated by an outside force. So there you go. Paradoxically prepared, anti-oppressive education, and it's not really your fault, but everyone's going to blame you anyway. So what's up with this guy Kumashiro? What's his philosophy of teaching? He really likes to focus on finding a middle ground by saying to the new teachers, help the students, but help yourself too. He's anti-oppressive, paradoxical, strategic, and an out-of-the-box thinker. His philosophy is to challenge the teachers to question their beliefs, remain uncertain, and expect curveballs in their career. So, what are 5 ways this relates to CI 3325, which is Adolescent Development? He talks about, even on a large scale in fixing the industry, how important the right questions and perspectives are. We're focusing on ways to ask and answer questions in our sister class, and we as teachers are learning to change our perspectives and reduce stereotypes and judgment in the way we think in order to respect our students. He's also fighting for the ideas we're learning about with minorities, disadvantaged schools, and ways to eliminate the effects of stereotypes. He's also really securing diversity in the classroom and making it a priority, especially in his LGBT area of expertise. He acknowledges that evaluation in the form of standardized tests needs to be reevaluated on a national level, and this relates to almost all of our adolescent studies, such as multiple learning styles, cultural background, and discrimination. In class, there's a lot of situations in which we realize there aren't really answers. He really pushes for this mindset that we fully realize that and try to get comfortable with not having all the answers. This is really important in many aspects of teaching and understanding our students, and we need to realize we aren't always going to get it right. Wie kann ich das mit meinem Hauptfach belegen? Last but not least, how can I use this with my major? My content area. My content area is German. Lucky for me, the Europeans and the Germans made a lot of LGBT movies and also have movies on historical oppression from their country. I could try to open up a discussion in that sense, but it would definitely take some thought, so I can definitely use movies for these 2 cases. Other than that, we can always integrate LGBT vocabulary, or better yet, maybe we can make some skits involving oppression and then their friends come to the rescue or something. I don't know. But that's my take. See you in class, guys. Bye.
Sag mir, dass dieser Ort hier sicher ist und alles Gute steht hier still und dass das Wort, das du mir hast,